Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville Zoning Hearing Board meeting for April 3rd, 2019. I'd ask you all to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Before we begin roll call, I'd like to ask everybody to make sure your phones are shut off so nothing goes off while we're talking. Sharon, roll call, please.
Mr. Rosapel,
Here.
Mr. Griziak,
Here.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Here.
Mr. Dice.
Here.
Mr. Weldon.
Here.
Thank you. Seeing no corrections or additions to the minutes from last month's meeting, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Approved. Under old business, Paul, if you would, please.
We have first item, 19-2-A, Robert Koch, Pet Concierge. Applicant requests a variance from section 207.3 of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 1443 as amended to install a 12-by-20 addition already constructed that will encroach approximately 10 feet into the required 30-foot front yard. The property is located at 227 Loretta Drive in the R2 one-family residential zoning district.
Thank you. Any parties involved in this come forward, please? Give testimony. Please sign in. Well, yeah, how many
Is
people?
there anybody else that's going to testify on this matter that's here
Nobody else?
tonight?
You're just the only one that's going to testify?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else in the audience that might want to testify?
Not on this matter.
You state your name for the secretary, please.
Yes, my name is Robert Koch.
Thank you. Would you raise your right hand? You swear that the evidence you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Present your case.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Koch. I've been a member of the Monroeville community since I was born. I grew up in Garden City and graduated from Gateway High. Went to Penn State and then moved back to Monroeville. The property in question is 227 Loretta Drive, and I've resided there since 2006. My family operates a small business called Pittsburgh Pet Concierge, and my address of the 227 Loretta Drive is the main address for that business. Just to give you a background, our primary services is just offering boarding for a small amount of dogs and allowing those dogs to enjoy the comforts of a home rather than a strict kennel-like environment. Excuse me. We did receive approval from the Monroeville Zoning Board on August 3rd, 2016 to operate a home occupation of a pet sitting business. Furthermore, Pittsburgh Pet Concierge is licensed with the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, which is, in turn regulates the dog laws of Pennsylvania. And the reason I bring that up is one may ask why we would have to be licensed by that, but in the state of Pennsylvania, if anybody houses more than 4 dogs in any given year, you have to have a license with the Department of Agriculture. And they also, they mandate and inspect the premises to ensure a clean, safe, lawful environment is being kept. We also do offer in-home services, meaning in-home services not at the Loretta Drive address. To give you an example, we help 2 elderly women in Penn Hills take their 150-pound Doberman to the vet every 2 weeks. So that's something else we do. In addition to being a long-term resident of Monroeville, I would be remiss not to say that my property at Loretta Drive is in the higher end in regards to the amount of real estate taxation. Also, Pittsburgh Pet Concierge is a registered business with Monroeville, licensed with Monroeville, and we also do pay the business tax in Monroeville. The addition that is in question is it's located in the front of my property. It's 12 feet wide by 20 feet long. It provides a lower entrance to my home, allowing access on the ground level without having to climb steps. The exterior is constructed with, I do have pictures too, I don't know if you want me to.
Just
Okay. The exterior is constructed with strong steel and the entire structure is anchored into the ground, which makes the structure resistant to extreme winds. They guarantee up to tornado speeds. It has a finished interior and it meets the safety guidelines outlined by the local zoning ordinances. Fire detectors located on the interior. The addition also, it connects directly into the home. Both doors attached to the structure are fire rated and fireproof. The only window is on the front door, which you could see, which is small. The color of the addition matches the vinyl siding of the home, and that makes the appearance uniform. The addition is also fully insulated. The walls and ceiling are insulated. The actual length of the addition does not pass the front line of the boundary of my neighbor's home. There is confusion as to whether this addition was built solely for a business purpose. The addition was not built just for a business purpose. While it is used at times for clients to drop off dogs, pick up dogs, it's built for residential reasons as well. I am a person with a disability, and my roommate also is a person with a disability, so both of our disabilities involve issues with mobility. At times, my roommate does require the use of a wheelchair. The lower entranceway to the home provides an easier way to enter the home, as the exterior steps are very steep. Especially during the winter elements, the exterior steps are unbearable. I am officially requesting the approval of this variance from section 207.3, number 1443 of the Monroeville zoning ordinance for the addition on my property. The request is made in accordance with the guidance provided by the Americans with Disability Act, also known as ADA, and the Federal Fair Housing Act, FFHA. While I do respect Monroeville zoning ordinances, I do believe I fit the definition of a reasonable modification of the zoning ordinance under the ADA and FFHA. Part 2 of the ADA prohibits discrimination against disabled persons or denial of the benefits, services, and programs of local government on the basis of a disability. So in essence, the requirements of the FFHA and the ADA are the same. According to the regulations implementing for the ADA, upon my research, I found that they do say a public entity shall make reasonable modifications in policies, practices, or procedures when modifications are necessary to avoid discrimination on the basis of a disability, unless the public entity can demonstrate that making the modifications would fundamentally alter the nature of the service, program, or activity. So, and in my further research into case law, I did find that the policies and practices and procedures that they're referencing here also include local zoning ordinances. So, but and I did research as far as in order to qualify for a reasonable modification of a zoning ordinance, we would have to meet 3 criteria. Whether the person to be accommodated has a disability, whether the modification requested is reasonably necessary to accommodate the disability, and whether the modification would fundamentally and unreasonably alter the nature of purposes of the zoning ordinance. The burden is then on the municipality to prove this would occur. So that would be for the first. I don't know if you want me to continue on to the.
Nope, that's the second item.
What'd you say, Paul?
He asked if he should start to present item number 2 on the agenda.
And you said?
You want to do one at a time?
No, let's just go ahead and get the second one done and we'll vote on it.
Want me to read the description off the
Why don't
agenda?
you?
Please.
Okay, item number 2, same applicant, 19-3-A, Robert Koch, Pet Concierge. Applicant requests a variance from section 207.8 of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 1443 as amended to increase the size of an existing driveway, which is also already constructed beyond the maximum permissible 25% of the front yard width. The property is located at 227 Loretta Drive in the R2 one-family residential zoning district.
Okay, and then this one's pretty quick. In reference to this one, the additional driveway space is needed and desired. Loretta Drive is actually one of the older streets in Monroeville. It's only 15 feet wide. And it makes maneuvering vehicles quite difficult. I did talk to Paul about this too as well, but it appears that Loretta Drive was grandfathered in under the old Monroeville ordinance codes, and it doesn't have to, it's not subject to meet the regular qualifications of a cul-de-sac, which is a minimum right-of-way of 50 feet, as Loretta Drive would be termed as a cul-de-sac. At the end of Loretta Drive, there's no turnaround. The road comes to a stop, and the pavement, it just turns to dirt. So there's no place for a turnaround or anything like that. And I also wanted to note, like, even the Monroeville municipal garbage trucks, when they do come and pick up our garbage, they have to actually back down the street because they can't pull in because there's nowhere to turn around. Also, the snow plow that comes, they have to send a smaller vehicle because the road is smaller. So we're just asking for the space it's directly in front of my home. It's 12 feet by 51 feet long. It provides 2 additional spots for cars. And if you want, I do have, if you wanted to look at these photos or not, this is more in depth than.
We have most of those photos. You can lay them on the table there.
Okay.
We'll pick them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, one at a time.
One at a time. All right.
Right on that mark in the middle.
Right in the center of that mark.
Right there.
There you go.
Okay, so that's just the front of the home, which you already seen. This is kind of the same thing. I wanted to show that is the main entryway with the steps. We had originally tried to redo this. This actually came down here before, but we actually put that in, and it's still, we can't get it, the contractor couldn't get it to be a more level. That's also the sidewalk to the steps. And I wanted to show you the interior of the structure because it's not metal inside like I had said. Walls are finished. The door to the exit. Smoke detector and carbon monoxide. This just further shows Loretta Drive. That's facing towards the end of the street. And this is facing towards Northern Pike. And this area right here, which is shown better on this. That's the driving spot. That's the parking in front of my home, right there.
Was that picture taken?
When was it taken? Probably 2.5 weeks ago. A lot of these are all repetitive what our vehicles already up there. And that would be everything.
Okay, so which pictures do you want to put into evidence? Because I want to make sure the record reflects those. Yeah, why don't you start with that one? And let's just mark them.
Okay.
You'll mark it A. And I want you to give them to Sharon then.
Okay.
What's that picture of?
That's a picture of
Loretta Drive.
Loretta Drive.
Okay,
Facing
next one.
Northern Pike.
This will be B, and that's your 2 parking spaces?
Yes. That's Loretta Drive facing the end of the road.
I think that's repetitive. We have a picture of Loretta Drive.
Okay. Smoke detector.
That'll be C, smoke detector. That's the inside of the trailer? That's D, or inside of the shed?
That's another interior.
This will be D, what's that of?
That's
E.
Is that E?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sidewalk.
Sidewalk.
Sidewalk to what?
Sidewalk to front steps.
Okay,
Coming down to the driveway?
Yes.
Correct.
okay.
This would be front steps.
Okay,
Should be F.
F. Front steps, okay.
And that's just the house.
Okay.
G. The rest of these you pretty much already have.
Okay.
Do you
Why
have
don't
one just to the shed in the driveway? Just an exterior towards the door?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. What are you gonna mark that?
That will be H. I think that's, yeah, everything else is just repetitive of just more different shots.
Okay. Why don't you give those pictures to the court reporter?
All right.
Very good? Yep. Sir?
Is that all your presentation?
That's all. That's all.
All right, once again, anybody in the audience wish to come up and address the board? Okay.
I have
Board
a
have-
couple questions, just so you know. How long have you owned the house?
Since 2006.
Okay. And when was the shed put in?
It was put in approximately in 2000, the latter part of 2016.
So you lived in the house for 10 years without the shed?
Correct.
And you had access to the house? I think you referred to a partner or roommate. That person lived there since 2006 as well?
No.
When did that person move in?
2017.
Okay, recent.
Recent now.
And who installed the shed?
It was installed by it's called Eagle. It's Eagle Customized Builders.
Okay.
They're from out of state.
Was it installed pursuant to whose direction?
Mine, I got
Okay.
my direction.
And who constructed the 2 parking spaces?
That would be Signori Contracting.
Was that done at your direction?
Yes,
Okay. Now, did you get permits for either of those things?
I did not.
That's all I have.
Any board members? Larry?
I had the same questions he had.
Gary?
Yeah, a question about you referenced the shed having ADA. It helps you as far as access. You previously had 2 garage doors there, are both doors still operational, or is the one?
The one door is not operational because it's the one where the main entrance comes in. There's a wall and then there's a security door. So
So the one to the right you're facing the house, that's operational? The one behind the shed
Yes.
is no longer operational? Is the shed, there's a door going from the shed into what would be the garage?
correct.
And how does the shed provide this ADA accessibility that you didn't have from the garage previously?
Well, it does help with providing like a shelter as far as like getting from point A to point B. Sometimes with someone in a wheelchair, it's not as quick as you might think, and even just opening the garage door, that just wasn't that's really all I have to say about that, I guess.
Are the doors on that shed, they wide enough for a wheelchair to go through? Because it looked like it's just a standard sized door.
Yes, I do have pictures of that too, if you wanted to see those. I do have a picture of showing that a wheelchair does fit through those. So it does fit through there.
You're talking about fitting through the shed.
Yeah, through the door and the front
Well,
door.
he's asking about the garage door, I believe, right?
No, I was asking about the shed.
Okay, the shed.
That little one.
The front door, correct?
The man door on the addition.
Yes.
Any further questions? I'm just a little puzzled. You brought up the ADA, and you said it was for physical reasons. You did all this stuff. I don't understand how it would give you a better access by taking away one of your driveway, one of your close where you can get up to the garage door. And then you show us the set of steps that were put in. And those steps, for a disabled person, those steps are, in my opinion, terrible for access to get up onto that front porch. Are these people all limited just to your garage and your entrance?
Well, I do agree with you that those actually aren't the original steps that were
No,
provided
these
with.
are the steps that you just put in, right?
Correct, but they're much better than what they were. The way that the house is situated, it's an upper entrance, so no matter which way you look at it, you have to come from below. So there's no before there was actually it came down the side of the front, and it was narrow. When I had the contractor come in, we tried even looking at doing a ramp for different reasons. That wasn't possible. So that's how that would be, but that's where we tried to do that with the front entrance. That was just done this summer.
One more time, let me ask you this. How did you end up coming before us now for these?
Paul had contacted me and told me that those items needed to be, they required, which I was unaware of. They required, to be approved, to have permits, etc. So the reason I'm coming forward is, one, I would like to definitely make sure that this is, okay with Monroeville, and two, I want to comply with whatever you guys would like me to do.
Paul, did you send out any notices on this?
Correct. Property owners within 300 feet were notified by mail. Orange placards were put up
Okay.
on the street.
Prior to, he's indicated that did you discover this problem?
I received phone calls from local residents. It had their phone calls dealt more with traffic issues. Apparently, some of the people dropping off pets were blocking traffic. The neighbors weren't happy about it.
Okay, did you ever give him any notices about complying?
Correct, yes.
Okay, do you have any of those here tonight?
I have,
In other words, I assume what happens is he gets a written note. You didn't cite him, did you?
no, it did not get to that point. Mr. Koch,
You never got that far?
yeah, Mr. Koch agreed he would apply for variances.
Okay, so is there a notice to him telling him that he should apply for a variance?
Yes.
You know what the date of it is, so we have it for the record.
This item has been tabled several times, so it would have been maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
But it's in your file?
Correct.
Okay. And did you receive a written notice from Paul
Yes.
concerning the fact that you needed to get a variance?
Yes. Paul came to my home and we discussed it, and he was,
Then you put the parking lot in?
well, that was already done too.
You said it was done 2 weeks ago?
The picture
Oh, no.
was
The
taken.
picture
Oh,
was 2 weeks
okay, I
ago.
apologize.
When Paul came to my property, and when he was out, that was there. That had actually just got done.
Another question?
Pardon?
Let me ask another question.
Sure.
Paul, did you get any correspondence from neighbors for or against the
I received several emails and phone calls against approving the variance. The neighbors were not in favor of it. They feel that the pet concierge business has outgrown the residential area.
May I ask a question for that? When you say that you received calls and emails against the variance, you're talking about the actual variance for the building, or were the complaints about the actual traffic?
Traffic and the use, there were some people that mentioned, the parking space being built without a permit and the addition being built without a permit. So it was, some of the conversations were lengthy and it covered a lot of topics, but the overall subject matter was, they feel the use has outgrown the residential district.
Mr. Catch, from the time you got the variance to allow the pet concierge at your residence to now, how has your business grown exponentially, or?
The time period that Paul's referencing is in the summer. So we did have more clients than we had anticipated. When I say that, I'm indicating that we took on more than we could. But since then, and if you monitor the traffic on the street, even now, since I did speak to Paul, we've made a very conscious effort to keep our traffic and clients down to a minimum, as we had originally got approved for. If I also may add, there are multiple things other items on my street that have been ignored, and
That's not part of what we're discussing tonight.
correct.
Okay.
And just also, in 2016, Mr. Koch did get a variance to operate a home business for pet sitting in his residence.
Yeah, I see where that's at here. If we're, in this photograph here, Mr. Koch, where are you located on that street, on Loretta? Are you in the middle of the street? Are you down the end by the turnaround?
I'm in the middle. If you see that pool very close to the street line, that's not mine. That's my neighbor.
The one on the right.
That's not mine. So if, see where the tree line is right there?
Yeah, right here.
Right to the left, the house right in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, right here.
Yes.
This is your house.
Yes.
Can we
Could we see
put this back up there, if you would, please? You have the photograph?
That one? I don't have that
If you
one.
don't have it, put this one up. Thank you.
Are you asking how many houses are to his left, how many houses?
Yeah,
to the right?
where he's situated at, on that street, that the complaints were coming in, that the traffic's being blocked and everything by people parking there.
Take a look at what we got up there, just so you can see it.
Okay, so if you see where the,
You can point right to it.
okay, this is my home here. This home here actually is the first house when you make a right onto Loretta Drive. This right here in the front is Northern Pike.
So you're basically right, second house in off the street, the main street.
Yes. So you come down here, and then this is the driveway, and then here's where the new is, the new parking spot is. Then there's one house next to me, and then at the end of the street, there's, not in this picture, but there's one other house.
Okay.
So there's a total, actually on Loretta Drive itself, there's 3 homes. This is not considered Loretta Drive, and this is not, this property here is, the house is here, and they own all this property.
They have Northern Pike addresses.
Yeah.
Any further question? Bruce, nothing?
No?
I'll entertain a motion on this.
Are we doing one at a time, or?
Yeah, I think what you'll take up is, a motion's in order for 19-2-A, which is the shed.
I'll make a motion to deny the shed.
I second that.
Motion to deny, and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Your request on has been denied.
Okay.
Okay.
Then there is the 19-3-A, which is the 2 parking spaces.
May I have a motion on that section, please?
Make a motion to approve that one.
Motion to approve?
I second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the parking spaces. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That part of your request has been accepted.
Okay.
Okay, he 30 days to appeal?
Yeah, he'll get notice from Paul.
Correct.
You will get a notice from Paul on your opportunity to
And
appeal.
the notice that you get will indicate the time frame for appeal if you decide to do that.
Okay.
Have a good night, sir.
Thank you very much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Do you want this picture back?
Yes.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
What's next, Paul?
I'm waiting for him to get out of here.
Under new business, one item, 19-8-A, Lauren Turkovich. Applicant requests a variance from Table 201B, permitted uses, conditional uses, yard and area requirements of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 1443 as amended to operate a bed and breakfast. The business is currently being operated in violation of ordinance 1443. The property is located at 413 Longview Drive in the R2 one-family residential zoning district.
Okay, anybody here to represent the person for the appeal?
Is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant?
No.
Paul, there's notice out to the applicant.
Correct.
Let's put their names on the record. Who was it that applied? think it was-
Lauren Turkovich is the name on the application.
Okay. And she was given notice to be here?
Correct.
Did she make any efforts to call you to ask for a continuance or postponement?
No.
Okay.
The street has been posted, too.
Yeah, again, you've gone through the posting requirements to 300 feet,
Yes.
and you have evidence of that in your file.
Yes.
I note that a resident wanted to speak or began to stand up. I would suggest that we hear from the resident, notwithstanding the fact that the applicant has not made a presentation, which certainly doesn't bode well for the applicant. But if there's someone here that wants to speak to this, this is their opportunity to speak to it, either for or against it. So with that, if there's someone that wants to speak on this matter, please come forward and be sworn.
Want to sign in, please, and give your name to this?
My name's Bob Williams. I've been a Monroeville resident for 60 years.
Okay, want to raise your right hand? You swear that the evidence you're about to give in this matter should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to address my concerns to the zoning hearing board. The subject is bed and breakfast at the house located at 413 Longview Drive. The applicant are asking for a variance to use this property as a bed and breakfast in an area not zoned for that use. My concerns are, first, the integrity of the neighborhood. Residents get upset that there's always cars there with out-of-state license plates number. It's only got one driveway. If you get multiple cars, they're going to be parking out on the street. As a past member of the planning commission for
Williams.
many years,
Is that a picture of the house?
yes,
That's the driveway that you're
that
talking
is the
about?
driveway with a parking place out in front.
I see.
Okay? As a past member of the Planning Commission for many years, we was always concerned about setting a precedent on items. So what you do for one, somebody else comes to you, what do you do for them? There is no hardship in this case, and I'm asking you to deny this application. Thank you for your time, and just concerned about the integrity of the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Sir, are you coming up? No. You have anything to say? Come up, please. Please sign in and state your name.
My name's Scott Lahofsky, and I live next door to
Why
the
don't you
applicant.
spell that?
It's W-L-A-H-O-F-S-K-Y.
Thank you.
I live next door to the house that's being run as a,
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes.
Now you can.
I live next door to the house that's running the bed and breakfast. There's people coming day and night. They've come to my house by mistake when they're looking for the house. They parked in my front yard. There's kids over there having parties. They play loud music. Then I've heard the music in my house in the dead of winter when everything's closed. And they've been out on the street late at night making noise. And there is different people there all the time from different states. They're not all Pennsylvania license plates.
So you,
I'm against it.
that's, okay.
How long has this been going on? Do you know? Rough idea?
At least 6 months, 8 months. They bought the house, I think, in February or March, and they started it maybe in the summer.
In 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has been going on a long time.
Okay. Anybody else?
Anybody? Question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody else coming up? Seeing none?
Motion's in order.
Entertain a motion.
May I ask you a question, though? Did Paul get anything? Paul, did you get anything from neighbors?
I did. I received some phone calls, also against the existing use of a bed and breakfast in an R2 district.
Very good. Okay, we'll entertain a motion on this matter.
Motion to deny?
Second that.
Motion to deny has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. The motion has been denied. The appeal has been denied, I'm sorry. Okay. Seeing nothing else, I will entertain one more motion.
To adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.